Hello everybody, welcome back. I am the real Cass Perry. You can call me Sassy Cassie, and today we are looking at our dash Am I the A-hole, and we are going to cross our judgments and all of that good jazz. Hi Nessie, how are you? What are you doing? Silly girl. So our first story is, am I the a-hole for telling my husband I told you so and laughing when we got the paternity test results? Oh my. Okay then, let's get into it. Okay, so I, 27 female, have been married to my husband, 28 male, for 2 years and gave birth to our daughter 5 weeks ago. I'll try to keep this short so I don't waste your time with any irrelevant details. What happened was that our daughter came out with blonde hair and blue eyes, while my husband and I have brown hair and brown eyes. Okay, so it could be a recessive gene. It's always a possibility. My husband freaked out at this and refused to listen to my explanation that sometimes babies are born with lighter hair and eyes that get darker over time. He demanded a paternity test and threatened to divorce me if I didn't comply. So I did. Okay. After my daughter and I got home from the hospital, my husband went to stay at his parents' house for the first 3 weeks to get some space from me while I recovered, and he told them what was happening. My mother-in-law called and informed me that if the paternity test revealed that the child wasn't his, she would do anything within her power to make sure that I was taken to the cleaners during the divorce. I had my sister to lean on and help me take care of the baby during this. Well, I mean, at least your sister's helping out, but how does everybody in your husband's family have this little understanding of genetics and how child growth works? Okay, then. We got the results back yesterday, and my husband came home to view them with me. I was on the couch in the living room, so he sat next to me, and we started to read the results. They showed that he was the father, and my husband had this shocked, kinda mortified look on his face, with his eyes wide as he stared at it. Yeah, because he was stupid enough to think that he knew more about genetics than... And... Okay, this is literally just 8th grade genetics, oh my gosh. Anyway, I couldn't help but say, "I told you so," and started laughing at the way he looked. My husband snapped out of his shock and got mad at me for laughing at him. We argued a bit, which was mainly him yelling at me, before my sister came downstairs and my husband shut up. After that, my husband went back to his parents' house to clear his head, and 2 or 3 hours later, my mother-in-law called to scold me about laughing at in my husband's face because apparently it was kicking him while he was down. No, it's laughing because I don't understand why he was so shocked to learn that his wife didn't cheat on him. Like, what? Okay. She's also left a couple nasty texts essentially saying the same thing this morning. I don't think I'm an asshole, but I'd like to consider perspective on this. I didn't realize I put me instead of him. Sorry, I have a headache. That's perfectly fine, OP. I understood when I read it. It's cool. Edit. Since someone asked in the comments, but I can't find it anymore. I have zero history of cheating. Okay, so he has absolutely no reason to think this other than his child's hair color and the fact that they have blue eyes, which can easily be a recessive gene. Like, if you and your partner can both have brown hair and brown eyes, and if one of your parents or grandparents was a blonde-haired, blue-eyed human being, then there is a very strong possibility, it's not a 100% chance, but there's a very strong possibility that your baby could come out with blonde hair and or blue eyes. There's, oh my lord, isn't that just beautiful? The things that we find out. The more you learn. So, our next story is titled, Am I the a-hole for telling my mother-in-law she was dead to me after she showed up in labor and delivery without my mother? This is a huge dependent variable, but let's go with it. First, I'm going to remove this sweater because it is getting quite warm, which is a little bit weird for Canada. Anyways, for the past 3 months, it's been a very well-known plan that when I, 30 female, went into labor, my husband was going to drive me to the hospital, and my mother-in-law was going to pick up my mother, my kids, my grandmother, all from the house. Both my mother-in-law and my mom were supposed to be in the delivery room. My gram was to watch my 2 kids in the waiting room. Everyone was in agreement with the plan. Now, my husband and I have 2 sons already, and for both births, my mother was present. She helped me through much of the mental anguish and panic, especially after my last, whom literally almost killed me. Okay. I was bleeding out on the table, and my mom was the only one able to keep me calm. I needed her to be with me with this baby too, mentally, so we worked this plan out months in advance, and everyone was on the same page. However, I go into labor, we make the phone calls to mother-in-law and my mom, telling my mom to be ready and my mother-in-law to go get my mother. An hour and 15 minutes later, my mother-in-law shows up at the hospital without my mom, my kids, or my grandmother. She said, well, it's late, so we need to just let everyone sleep. It was 9:30 in the evening, and then sat her behind down on the chair in the delivery room and jumped on her phone. I told her in a peeved off tone to go get my mom. That was the plan. I needed my mom, etc., etc., and she just wouldn't. At one point, saying that if she didn't feel up to driving that much, my mom lives 20 minutes from her house, an hour away. So I told her to go to get the fudge out of the room and that she was dead to me. The amount of resentment and disgust that I felt toward her in this moment is honestly not something that I feel the will to overcome anytime soon. She was angry, saying that my mom got to experience 2 births already and how she didn't do anything wrong and she was just being respectful of people's sleep. Excuse me? The woman was already awoken. This plan was put into place months ago. Oh, no. Throw the whole mother-in-law away. I agree. And where she wasn't leaving, she was actually escorted out. Yeah. Good. Now, my mom was able to make it to the hospital literally just as I was giving birth. My kids and my grandmother weren't able to make it, which bothers me a great deal. We promised our kids they would be the first to meet their sister. Aww. I cannot forgive my mother-in-law for all of this. I honestly feel like I hate her and every fiber of my being, but I am being told that I'm taking this too far and that it wasn't that big of a deal. Am I the a-hole? Absolutely not. No. So, this plan was made months in advance. You are giving birth. This is an extremely vulnerable time. Your mother is, in your case, literally your best friend. She is your biggest support. She takes care of you. She loves you. She makes you feel wanted. And your mother-in-law is just like, nope, this is my spot and your mom can't have it. I don't want your mother in the room while you're giving birth. That's what this is giving. Like, no. Let's go down to the comments because I want to see these. Oh, the first one just flat out agrees with me. And not the a-hole. Move to change the plan. An asshole move would be to change the plan like that without communicating. A bigger a-hole move is the deal to refuse to go back to the original plan. The huge a-hole move to refuse to leave the hospital room and forcing herself into the most vulnerable moment. The B with an itch tripled down. Yeah, exactly. Like, there is... This woman is... No. Oh my gosh. I would add as a factor that she walked in, sat down, and pulled out her phone. Seems like she wasn't even invested in the birth. She only cared about existing in the room at the time it happened, whereas OP's mother was meant to be there for support. Absolutely self-centered. Yes. Edit, wow, I believe that this is the most single upvoted comment I've ever had. Wow. Yeah, honestly, I get that. And you know what? I truly believe this, because at the end of the day, why on earth would she go into the hospital room, force herself, like, she literally forced herself into the delivery room by herself because she didn't want OP's mother there. OP's mother is her biggest support system. Like, she needs her mom. And this woman's just like, oh, no, it's fine, I can be the only one here. And that sits on her phone. She doesn't even try to help. No, I would probably feel the exact same way, to be completely honest, and there's no excuse for that. So, yeah, no, that's just not cool. I wouldn't do it. It's not something that I feel, no, babe, no. Okay, I don't know how appropriate this one is, but we're gonna read it anyway because I love the title. Am I the a-hole for admitting in front of all of my husband's friends that I've never had an organism? So recently, my husband's friend's birthday party, it was a bigger party, and all of my husband's friends and their wives were there. No kids. Okay. One woman that I'm friendly with was annoyed with her husband and joked, "Men, if they didn't get us off, why would we keep them?" Oh my gosh. And she laughed. I awkwardly laughed, but I guess looked uncomfortable, and she asked me what was up. And she pointed out that I made a weird face. I've just never had an orgasm before, so I guess I couldn't relate. Okay. Almost a dozen people looked at me when I said that, and it was super awkward. The wife then awkwardly asked, "Is everything okay down there?" And I said, "Yeah, I have never had anyone try, I guess." For the next 10 minutes, all of my husband's friends took turns insulting him in various ways. Many women tried to talk about how they'd never be married to someone who didn't... Oh, shoot. My husband made us leave early, and when we got home, he lectured me about how I humiliated him. I pointed out that she asked, and I have a tendency to be honest. This is so bad. Oh my gosh. No. He's been really upset the last several days, and he keeps saying he can't talk to his friends because now they think badly of him. Am I the a-hole for being honest here? Edit, I've brought the issue up countless times in the past. He tells me that it's not important - not a big deal, that he doesn't... Oh yeah, since it's not that important, I just don't see why I have to hide it like some kind of dirty secret. You know what? If it really isn't that important to him, I don't understand why it's not important. I can't... Let's go down to the comments. Oh my gosh. Holy shiza, your significant other said he tells me that it's not important, not a big deal, that he doesn't get me. That's nuts. I would feel like a failure as a lover. I'm sorry. Yeah, It's selfish, so her SO is fine and happy. Yeah. But why did she say it in front of everybody? This is nuts. When I was dating my husband, I would get upset if he finished. Ooh. Oh my gosh. There is an amazing device called the Satisfier. Highly recommend it. The next movie in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Yes, yes. The creators of South Park already went there back in 1997. Yeah, they did. Sadly, they did. Oh my gosh. Wow. I can't believe I just read that. Okay, so for some people this is a big deal, for some people it isn't. Okay, next story, I gotta... Okay, this one is titled, I'm rethinking having a child with my wife because of what I just found out about her dad. Am I the a-hole? Let us find out. My wife Jessica, 32 female, and I, 30 male, have been married for 2 years and are trying for a baby. Jessica has an older sister, Mary, that she isn't close to. She told me that they had a huge falling out over some family drama and just don't speak anymore. I asked a few times about the entire situation, but she would say that she doesn't like talking about it and that she doesn't think it's important. It was Jessica's brother's birthday yesterday, and we were all over at his house to celebrate. Mary made an important Sorry, I can't speak today. Mary made an appearance, and there was a lot of drama. Long story short, she called Jessica and her brothers out for still associating with their dad, and when they know that he is a child. Oh my lord, he hurts babies. No one was paying her any mind, and I was really confused on what the HE double hockey sticks was going on. So when Mary left and Jessica and I went home, I asked Jessica what the heck happened. She said that when they were kids, Mary used to claim that their dad used to harm her. And I asked if it's true, and Jessica was stuttering a lot. She said that she knows her dad used to do bad things, but that Mary cut them all off when she turned 18 and moved out. I asked if she is admitting that she knows that her dad hurt babies and did things to his own daughter. She said he doesn't do it anymore, and he was just in a really bad place in his life. There is no excuse for this. No! I don't care who this person is to you, there is no excuse for this. Oh my god. And he apologized to Mary, so there's nothing else anyone can do for it. Okay. I was honestly appalled. I also feel terrible for Mary, and Jessica made it seem like Mary did something wrong and deserved to be basically exiled from the family. I could have never imagined that this is what happened. Yeah, because that is terrible. That's horrifying. Oh my god. I asked if she expects me to now be willing to have that man around our future children, and she started shouting at me, saying that I'm judging him off of something that happened 2 decades ago, and whether I like it or not, he is going to be our child's grandpa, and he will be in their lives, and if she insists on it, I think we need to hold off on having kids and have a serious conversation about it. She's extremely angry at me, but I don't know how I could better react, to be honest. This feels like a huge deal that she is minimizing. Am I the a-hole? Abso-fudgin-lutely not. No. Okay. I don't know how to say this in any type of a kind way that is going to make anybody feel any way better about this, but at the end of the day, people who hurt babies, people who are willing to harm a child in any type of way like that, anybody who's willing to harm a child in any type of way at all should not ever be trusted around kids again. Because at the end of the day, those type of people don't ever get better. They never change. There's never ever any part of them that ever thinks to themselves, oh, this is actually wrong. They never get better. They just get better at hiding it. And it's disgusting. It is abso-fudging-lutely disgusting. Ugh. This absolutely makes me sick. People will put down a dog for hurting a kid, but they're not going to put down a person for doing it. That's just... Ugh. So, I'm going to let you guys in on a little secret. I was at one point engaged, and my ex-fiance's brother was one of those people who hurt kids, and I didn't really know about that until he decided that he wanted to try to live with us, and I was informed about it by a bunch of other people. And I talked to my ex-fiance about it, and he had sat there, oh no, he's changed, he would never hurt anybody, blah blah blah. So I just ended up telling him, like, no, he can't stay here. The breaking point was when he took somebody who was in prison for hurting an 8-year-old little girl to his 8-year-old niece's birthday party. And I mean, I loved his niece and nephew. Like, those were two of the best kids ever. Like, there's no denying that I cared about those kids. Obviously I cared about those children more than the rest of their entire family, because I was the only one who had a problem with that man being in the presence of those kids. So, yeah, it's just gross, bro. Like, seriously, wow. I don't even, golly. This poor woman. Well, not even this poor woman, this poor man. Like, that's ridiculous. Oh my gosh, we've got to go to the next story. Wow, I can't even get over that. I just need a second. Like, holy. Okay, next story. Let's get into it. Am I the a-hole for telling my brother's girlfriend that he had a vasectomy when she was telling them about their plans to settle down and have a family? Oh, no, because you're apparently the only one telling her the truth, by the sounds of this title. But we're going to read. My brother Mark, 40 years old, just doxes him. Okay, won the lottery when he was 20. It was $1,000 a week for life. Okay. He was young and wanted to travel. He dropped out of school and had spent his entire adulthood basically seeing the world. He comes home to visit every few years, and we FaceTime with him. He is near a signal. When he is near a signal. Okay. Excuse me, guys. I'm still getting over that cold that I had, but you know what? I'm feeling a lot better, so at least I'm not coughing the entire way through every video. He doesn't travel first class or stay in expensive resorts, so he has actually built up some nice savings. Okay. He came home with a girlfriend, Haley, 28 this year. They met when they got stuck in South America during the pandemic, and she has been traveling since she graduated from university, and she works out of a laptop. Okay. I, female 54, live in the same city where I was born. I love it here. I love being close to my parents and my grandchildren. Aw, that's so cute. Most of my siblings, Mark, being the youngest of 8, always swore that they would not have kids. Okay. Our parents were older, and when they had him, they didn't have the energy for him, truth be told. Aw, that's a sin. Mark came home when he was 30 and told us all that he had a vasectomy and that he would not be contributing to the world population. Okay. Haley is a pretty young thing, and she is also extremely intelligent and sweet, and I can understand why anyone would fall in love with her. Aww. See, OP's so nice. We were having a family barbecue to celebrate Mark being in town, and there were maybe 30 people in my parents' yard and house. I was talking to Haley about her future plans, and now that the world is opened up again, and she said that she was ready to settle down and start a family. And somebody asked if they were planning on adopting from one of the countries that they had traveled to, or if they would try in North America. She said that they had talked about it and would be having at least one child of their own. This may be where I fudged up, because I asked where Mark got his vasectomy reversed, or if they were having in vitro fertilization, and I know that they can harvest sperm from a testicle even after a vasectomy. She went quiet and went over to Mark, and they spoke, and they left. Oof. Mark called me later that night to scream at me for ruining his life. He hadn't told her that he was planning on continuing to travel and maybe adopt if they decided on it. He said that I shared private medical information, that he never wanted to see me again. Okay. Wow. I apologized over and over. I seriously had no way of knowing that he was planning a future with this girl without telling her a pretty big piece of the puzzle that might be missing. Yeah, that's... Oh, gosh. I feel bad for him, but I think that he should have told her. I 100% agree. I feel like he definitely should have told her, but at the end of the day, OP, it was 100% his place to tell her. I feel like you should have taken him aside privately and asked, and told him, like, listen, if this is really how you feel and you're not wanting to get this reversed and you don't want to have a baby yet, then you definitely need to talk to this girl about it, because at the end of the day, there's abso-fudgin-lutely no reason for you to not be 100% honest with your partner, especially when you're talking about your plans for the future and such, because that's a really big deal, and you guys need to know what's going on in that kind of thing. So, yeah, I don't really know how to say this, but you are both yes and no at the same time. Like, you're a well-meaning a-hole. Like, very, very much love to OP, because your heart is absolutely in the right place. But at the same time, you shouldn't have shared this information publicly in front of this girl without knowing if she knew anything about it first. You should have just gone over aside and talked to Mark on, just in a private setting. So that is my verdict. You are a well-meaning a-hole, but please feel free to let me know what you guys think down in the comments. I would love to know. Thank you very much. Next story, please. Okay, this one is titled, Am I the a-hole for breaking up with my girlfriend after she rejected my proposal twice? I'm gonna go out on a limb and say no. Why'd she keep rejecting you when you're proposing? She's supposed to love you. Oh my lord. Anyways, Sierra and I have been dating for 4 years. I absolutely love her and felt like she was my soulmate. I knew that I wanted to propose 2 years into dating, but decided to wait 1 more year so that I could get in a better situation financially. Okay. Last year, I proposed. It was a private proposal on the beach where we went on our first date. She looked at me and said, I want to marry you, but not right now. She said that she wasn't in the right space personally to get engaged and to give her some time. Aw. That stung, but I was okay with it. After all, I put off proposing so that I could be in a good position. It's only fair that I give her the same chance. Wow, you are such an understanding person. Okay. It's been a year since then, and I decided to propose again. This time, I asked our friends to help me set it up because I wanted to do something nicer. We orchestrated a nice dinner and a proposal in front of a nice fountain in the city's botanical garden. That is absolutely beautiful. Oh, wow. Everything was ready. Dinner went great. We went to the fountain and she saw the roses and everything, and then I got down on one knee and I asked her to marry me. She teared up and told me not just yet. This stung really bad. I knew that I wanted her in my life forever, but this is the second time that she turned me down. I asked her why, and she told me the same thing as last year. I asked her if someone was holding her back, maybe family or friends, and she just said, I just want to make sure that this will work. Oh my golly. This hurt me more than the two rejections. I told her if after 4 years she isn't sure, then what the heck will make her sure? She asked me to give her time, and I told her no. I told her that I'm not going to keep wasting my time and love if she's going to keep saying no. I told her that I can't do this anymore, and she began begging me not to leave and said, fine, I'll marry you, just please don't go. That made me mad, but I just didn't say anything. I left. Yeah, I get that. My phone has been blowing up with some of our friends, her parents, and her telling me that I'm an a-hole for throwing away a 4-year relationship because she said no, and that I was being a big baby. No, you are not. She doesn't want to commit to you. It's been 4 years and she's telling you she doesn't want to commit. God darn. Ugh. Like, she just needs some time. How much time? She's had 2 full years to think about this. The other half of our friends aren't on my side. But they're not on hers either. Okay? I don't think that I'm an a-hole for this, but did I overreact? Am I an a-hole? How much more time am I supposed to give her? Edit, we're both 29 years old, so you're both almost 30. Like, the second proposal wasn't done in front of my friends. They just helped plan it and stuff. It was just her and I. Okay. Edit 3. We discussed marriage shortly before I proposed the first time. She was into it and even told me that she couldn't see herself with anyone else. She seemed eager about the idea of marriage, which is why I was shocked the first time and then angry the second time. Yeah, because... Yeah, I agree. So let's go to the comments, because I agree with the first one that I just seen when I scrolled down. Not the a-hole. 1, no is recoverable. 2, no's is a fine, I'll do it. And a fine, I'll do it under duress is not okay. Yeah, you were right. And your gut is right there. Something is holding her back. Yeah. Oh, gosh. Oh, Lord. This whole thread is just... OP said she was open to it when he asked her later, but you're right, I don't think that they really had a good conversation about it. Either she's pushing things under the rug and lying, or he's not listening. Yeah, because, see, this can be taken both ways, because every time somebody writes one of these Reddit stories, typically, they're writing themselves out in the best possible light. So we don't really know what's actually going on behind closed doors. We don't know how these guys act with each other. We're not entirely certain about anything here, except for the fact that she said no twice when he proposed, which I mean is, that's sad. I feel bad for OP, but at the same time, is there what is the reason for her saying no? And you guys need to communicate this stuff before you can really figure out how you're gonna continue your relationship in life and all of that good jazz, because it's just, there's a lot of different things that every couple needs to figure out and communicate and know for a fact that both of you are okay with before anybody even thinks about deciding to start moving forward with that. It's like communication, truthfulness, healthy relationship. That's how it goes. And if you have a hi, Nuzzy Boo. Hi, beautiful. Are you saying hi to everybody? Are you saying hi? Are you saying hi? Yeah, you're saying hi. You're saying hi to all the viewers. You're such a good. Yes, you're such a good girl. Aw. Yeah. Do you think the mummy's right? Do you think mummy's right? Mwah. But if you have a bunch of non-communication, untruthfulness, all of that good jazz, you have unhealthy relationship. There's no, you gotta, yeah. Oh, what a sin. Okay, this one looks interesting. Am I the a-hole for yelling at my pregnant sister-in-law and telling my husband to choose me or her? Okay. See, I know the title sounds wrong, but please hear me out. I'm currently typing this all up while my husband's entire family is sitting downstairs. Okay. So I, 29 female, have been married to my husband for 8 years. About 2 months ago, I had my third miscarriage at 31 weeks. Oh, I'm so sorry to hear that, OP. I won't be talking about it because it makes me feel so depressed. I absolutely understand that. But you'll need to remember this. Okay. I will keep this in mind. You have had... Okay. About 4 months ago, my sister-in-law, 20, came crying, at our doorstep telling us that she's pregnant and her boyfriend didn't want anything to do with the pregnancy and had nowhere to go. My husband and I openly took her in and welcomed her into our home with open arms, and for the first few weeks it was really hard for her, understandably. I sat with her for a few hours, holding her when she cried, binging our favorite TV shows, eating so much ice cream we quite literally fell into a coma. It was really bonding for us, so I thought. Here's where it starts going downhill. I take pride in my neat, clean home. My sister-in-law, on the other hand, did not. She would leave her clothes all around the house, leave her dirty dishes wherever, even went as far as leaving her Mahatma toys on our living room table. No! Ew! I tried to talk to her directly before I talked to my husband, and she immediately started crying and told me that I should try... What? Crying and told me should try to be cleaner. I hugged her and told her it was okay, but this is a clear boundary for me. And she told me that it wouldn't happen again, but it only got worse. She told me, and I was expected to do her laundry and dishes and clean her room daily because she's the pregnant one. Excuse me? Well, I do understand how hard it is being pregnant. I just couldn't allow feeling like a maid in my own home. Disclaimer, I bought this house, not my husband. It was all me. Okay then. Not to mention my recent loss of my child. So, I told my husband, but what he told me shocked me. His exact words were, "Honey, she's going through a lot right now. We really should be helping her out. Plus, it might make you feel better to take care of someone who's pregnant." I was pissed, to say the least. Make me feel better? She's going through a lot? We need to help her? Letting her stay with us wasn't enough? Well, I don't want to invalidate her pain. My husband and I were also going through our own problems. Anyways, we moved on. I did my best to maintain work and the household chores. My husband works 7 a.m. through 7 p.m., so he isn't around to help much. I work full time from home, so it's been super stressful. And when I even try to ask for help from sister in law, she always makes an excuse, even if she's just watching TV. No. The one thing that pushed me over the edge was I went out to buy my one food that I have actually enjoyed eating after my miscarriage. I wrote my name on it and directly asked my sister in law not to eat it. Well, I went to go to my fridge and to get it, and you'll never guess, she freaking ate it. Now, you may think it's just food. I buy all the groceries, I basically pay all of the bills. I don't mind people having some of my food, but the one thing I ask not to be touched gets touched. I told my husband, and of course, he rubbed it into my face that she's pregnant and I need to be less selfish and life is about sacrifices. I was so upset that I told him I felt like him and her were the horrible roommates that people talk about on Reddit, and he didn't take that very well. Yeah, he probably wouldn't, because at the end of the day, okay, so I completely understand how OP is feeling. At the end of the day, losing your own baby is a hugely mentally debilitating thing, and you get so absolutely depressed, you get so anxious, even, and having your husband force you to take care of a pregnant person after you just lost your baby would make you so freaking depressed, especially since the amount of time that it actually takes to recover from a miscarriage. You're not allowed to do almost anything. Like, you're not allowed to lift more than 2 pounds for like a couple of months. Like, sometimes you can continue with the seriously debilitating physical effects, not even just the mental effects of a miscarriage, for up to 4 or 5 months after it happens. So I have so much sympathy for OP right now. It's not even okay. Which leads us to my title. My sister-in-law planned a random baby shower party thing at my house. Oh no. I personally didn't know if I could even be home when this was happening. I felt so hurt that she wouldn't talk to me, knowing everything that has happened, and that she would just invite random strangers into another person's home before asking. My husband urged me to go. I told him that it would permanently affect mine and her relationship, so I told him I'd go. About halfway through the party, my husband and sister-in-law announced that they wanted to show the nursery to everyone. I was confused. Nursery? She was staying that long? What room did she turn into a nursery? She told everyone to head upstairs, and that's when it hit me. They were talking about my nursery for my baby that I had just lost. No. A wave of emotions hit me when I saw everybody in my baby's nursery telling her what a good job they did setting it up. My setup for my baby that my body failed to give me. I just lost it. I started sobbing. Then that sadness turned into pure rage. I started yelling at my sister-in-law, telling her that she's the foulest human for putting me through everything that she has for the last few months, making me feel like I was a maid for an object for her convenience. Through choked up tears, I turned to my husband, whose jaw was on the floor. I turned my head to see his entire family just staring at me. I lost it again, yelling. I looked at my sister-in-law, telling her, how dare she use my nursery for my baby? How dare she think that she has the right? What she told me made me fall to my knees sobbing. It's not my fault that you couldn't produce a child. Why let this go to waste? You're so selfish. Get rid of them all. Kick them all the hell out of your house now. We're going to war. We are. Nope. Where are you? Where are you? Whoever wrote this needs to inbox me right now because I am coming to war for you. You are coming to live with me. Okay? End of story. No more. No. Nope. 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 Oh. My husband tried to pick me up off the floor, but I yelled again. Standing to my knees, which were now shaking, I told him, pick a which were now shaking, I told him, pick a dumbfounded look on his face. I yelled again, pick, me or her. He couldn't even muster anything to say. I just looked at him, pure betrayal. I pushed past the crowd of family and ran straight up here to type this out. Even if no one sees this, at least it's helped me let these emotions out. Now's the point where I ask, am I the a-hole? Update. Sorry for typos or misspelt words. I'm not quite sure if this is the proper way to do an update, but hopefully everyone can see it. First, I just want to address a few comments. You can skip this part if you don't care, lol. I know I had a stillborn. The only reason I say miscarriage is because that is what my obstetrician told me was happening. Second off, some people have been saying this story is fake because of the way I described the argument, falling to my knees, pure betrayal. Yes, I figured out I spelt it wrong. I can ensure you it is not. I cannot make anyone believe me, but this is my life, so you can either think it's fake or not. Here's the update everyone's been asking for. Honestly, I completely believe you, because that's definitely the reaction that I would have. Like, I have had so... Like, I completely understand where OP is coming from. This is not okay. None of this is okay. Her sister-in-law needs to be thrown the hell out of her home and throw the whole husband away too. Divorce. Because none of this is okay. Goodbye. Goodbye, Earl. Anyway. Here's the update everyone's been asking for. Buckled up, but it is a long one. After posting my original story on Reddit, I sat on my bed, wiping tears and telling myself, I will not take this disrespect. I walked downstairs, shutting my nursery door on the way. I was greeted with everyone comforting my sister-in-law. I kindly asked everyone besides my sister-in-law and husband to respectfully get the fuck out of my house, as you should. After all the dirty looks and shaming, it was just my husband and sister-in-law and myself. They sat themselves on the couch, not saying anything. I sat with them. The silence felt like forever. None of us had anything to say. I knew I'd have to start the conversation. I looked at my husband and said, "Did you decide?" He looked at me, just staring. I asked again, in a firm tone this time. He ended up mumbling some sort of insult, and I couldn't really make out what he said. Something with bitchy. Yeah. I stood up and told them both to get out. Then they wanted to talk, telling me that this was all a misunderstanding, their story, blah blah blah. I grabbed a backpack from my shoe closet and told them to pack their shiznit. My sister-in-law told me that I couldn't just make her leave, and I was a horrible person. I laughed in her face and told her that this was my house and I can do whatever I wanted. My husband stood next to me and told her it was only for a little while. I turned to him and said, "Oh, you too, get out." He got all mad and told me that we were a married couple and that this isn't how marriage works. I told him, no, it's not. Marriage is where two people support each other and not treat their wife like she's. They both ended up leaving after many insults towards me, but oh wait, it's not over. This morning, I was getting ready for a Zoom meeting with a few other coworkers when my husband showed up. I let him in, telling him to get whatever he needed and go because I had to work. He started apologizing, telling me that he wants to make it right. I told him I just need time away from him. Then he threw in my face, "Well, it's not my fault you lost our children. Maybe this would have never happened. My sister was right. You are selfish." Oh no, divorce him. Get rid of him. I have never ever made my husband feel like he cannot grieve with me over this. Never made him feel less than because of his pain. I turned around and slapped him in the face. I never condone violence, and I am very upset. I would never ever do that to another human, but I just couldn't deal with this. He took a step back and then threw all of my makeup on the floor, which I get. But then he started breaking all of my decor in my bathroom. I yelled at him to stop and that I was sorry, but he just kept going, even going as far as punching a hole in my bathroom wall. It was like I was seeing all of his bottled up emotion from our children's death come out, but he went too far when he tried to grab me, yelling in my face. I kicked him off and told him to get the hell out. He walked out of the bathroom, and I watched him break a few more items as he left. The second he left, I had a panic attack, looking at the mess he made, to even just seeing how much he hid his pain. I called my mother and told her everything that has been happening. I don't talk to my family much due to some past trauma with them, and she told me that she was on her way. The second she got here, I just broke down, and she held me. Then she stood up and started taking pictures of everything that he broke, and I asked her what she was doing. She turned to me and said, "We're suing the POS." I honestly didn't even argue. I was so hurt by everything my husband did to me. My mom packed up my computer and I grabbed a few outfits. My mom and I drove to a hotel and she insisted on staying with me while I finished up work. My mom called a locksmith and my attorney, and I will be divorcing him as well. So there it is. Here's the update everyone has been waiting for. I feel guilty for just giving up on my husband and 8 years of our marriage, but it's time for a divorce. I can't live like this, and neither can my husband. I wish I could say we moved on, forgave each other, and that I got to see my sister-in-law have her baby, but that's not reality. If anything else happens, I will let you all know. And thank you guys for the support and help with this situation. Honestly, OP, I have nothing but love for you. I feel so bad that you had to go through any of this. The divorce is absolutely warranted because at the end of the day, your husband and sister-in-law's actions were showing absolutely no care for how you were feeling in this situation. And I understand him bottling things up and not showing how he was feeling about it was probably really traumatizing for everybody involved, especially him. But at the same time, he needed to talk about this from the beginning and didn't. None of this is really on you. You did absolutely nothing wrong. These people were horrific to you in an extremely vulnerable time in your life. And I feel so awful. But oh my gosh. And I would like to know what everybody else thinks. Everybody, please give peace and love down in the comments because, oh my gosh, she has gone through so much and she deserves so much better. And this is just horrifying. I feel so bad for this woman. Wow. Oh no, this one looks terrifying. Am I the a-hole for breaking my deathbed promise to my wife to take care of her Down syndrome daughter? Just from the title, yes. Yes, you are. You are absolutely the a-hole. You never break a deathbed promise. Anyway, my late wife's entire life was about her 30-year-old daughter who suffers from Down syndrome and has never and will never have the ability to live independently, nor will she ever have the ability to ever exercise any real amount of emotional impulse control. Okay. And before you all start in on the evil stepdad who doesn't care to understand line of thinking, I want to add that I have been in her life since she was 5 and spent years fearing the day when she was physically developed to a point where punches, scratches, and throwing things were a real threat. Once that happened, all of my wife's friends stopped visiting our house. One of them even said that her uncle deals with vicious dogs for a living and she feels safer around his workplace than at our house. Oh, wow. That's terrifying. Okay, that's pretty bad. I many times have ended up needing to go to the doctor for doctors for the crime of sitting in the same room as my stepdaughter and having her attempt to pound my head in, throw a heavy object at me, or trying to choke me after I had fallen asleep. What the heck? My late wife was the only one who could reliably calm her down. When we started using caregivers for my stepdaughter after my wife was diagnosed, they would be asking me whether I could enlighten them on a better way to explain things to my stepdaughter when she was going ballistic. When even they who were used to explaining things to people who just didn't get things were still struggling and asking for insight. Okay, yeah, that is pretty bad. When my late wife was diagnosed, the first word out of her mouth was my stepdaughter's name. She cried every day for what was to become of her. Oh my gosh. In her desperation, she tried to press the doctor for chemotherapy, and when it no longer made sense, I turned to an alternative medicine despite it making her feel worse, saying she would have stopped all treatment if she was only leaving behind a employable, functioning 30-year-old. On her deathbed, she made me promise to not let her fall into the hands of a state care facility. I promised her because I didn't have the heart not to. But now, after my grief fog has cleared 2 months later, my stepdaughter remains the same. She doesn't understand that her mom is dead, only that she's gone, and is angry at me for it, saying she'll be good, so bring her back. Oh no. Caregivers are expensive, and I don't make much. I didn't resent any medical expenses when it was my wife, but I admit that I resent my stepdaughter. This is sad. My own grown kids won't visit with her around. If I hadn't made the deathbed promise, the decision would have been easy. And finally, I made the decision that I needed to put her in a state-run facility, as even with my wife leaving me everything, I couldn't afford anything better. Now, family are all calling me the evil stepdad and mother's worst nightmare. Am I the a-hole? Honestly, I don't even know how to address this, because obviously you loved your wife absolutely so much. And it's obvious that you care about your stepdaughter. You just apparently resent her. And I completely get that it would be extremely difficult dealing with a violently tended 30-year-old child with Downs. But at the exact same time, this girl is going through a grieving process, and I don't know how to explain to you that even if it is difficult, you can't. Your wife's gonna come back to haunt you, bro. Like, I don't know how else to put that. You're gonna get haunted. Not only, so basically, it's literally, you are haunted by your stepkid, who is literally physically harming you and making you feel horrible and begging you to bring her mom back, even though you can't, when you probably wish to God that you could. Or you're haunted by your deceased wife's ghost that is now angry with you because you put her daughter into a home. So, there's no upside here. Oh my gosh, I'm so sorry, OP. Yes, you are the asshole. But at the same time, I can understand why you're being the asshole. Oh, God love ya. God bless your heart. Oh gosh. Can somebody please tell me if OP is the a-hole or not down in the comments? Because I cannot definitively give an answer on this. I'm afraid to pass judgment. Uh okay. Judge Sassy is not in the building today. Judge Sassy has just left. I'm no longer in this one. Um Thank you very much for watching. If you like the video, please like the video. Please subscribe so that you do not miss another video. Subscribe. I am hypnotizing. Subscribe. Give the bell a tickle. Subscribe. Oh, Lord. But yeah, if you like the video, please like the video. Please leave a little comment down in the section, and I would love to hear what you guys think. Thank you so much. I love you guys for all of your support. Bye-bye. Mwah!